Whiskers, a fluffy orange cat, struts with feline grace around his plush, luxurious cushion. He pauses, striking a series of poses as he admires his reflection in a nearby mirror. Each pose is more dramatic than the last, a silent performance for an unseen audience. With a final flourish, Whiskers surveys his image, a hint of vanity in his emerald eyes. A deep, theatrical sigh escapes him, adding a layer of complexity to his feline persona. Whiskers, a fluffy tabby, parades toward his breakfast, tail aloft like a banner of feline pride. He halts, emerald eyes widening, a picture of feline shock. A dramatic pause as Whiskers stares into the abyss. Narration: the bowl is empty. The camera focuses on the empty bowl, amplifying Whiskers' despair. Whiskers, nose twitching dramatically, becomes a bloodhound on the scent, tracking an invisible trail of crumbs. Whiskers rounds the corner, his eyes widening in anticipation and surprise. And there, bathed in a sliver of sunlight, is Nibbles, the narration whispers, heightening the drama. Nibbles, a tiny mouse dwarfed by a huge piece of cheese, is completely engrossed in his feast. A tiny mouse, no bigger than Whiskers' paw. The narration clarifies, emphasizing the size disparity. Inside Whiskers' cozy home, Nibbles' eyes gleam with mischief, his tiny paws clutching a chunk of cheese. His cheeks bulge as he munches contentedly, lost in the simple pleasure of his morning snack. A scattering of crumbs surrounds him, a testament to his enthusiastic indulgence. With a satisfied grin, Nibbles pauses, cheese still clinging to his whiskers. "Mornin'," he chirps, his voice muffled slightly by the cheese. "Sorry, I was hungry. This cheese tastes better than my usual crumbs," Nibbles declares. Inside Whiskers' cozy home, betrayal cuts deep. Whiskers clutches his chest, his eyes wide with disbelief and wounded pride. A moment of stunned silence hangs heavy in the air, broken only by Whiskers' ragged breath. The accusation rings out, sharp and raw. You stole my breakfast." The gravity of the breakfast theft hangs heavy, a shadow over the once peaceful room. The accusation echoes, revealing hurt and a sense of profound violation of trust. Inside Whiskers' cozy home, Nibbles nervously shifts his tiny paws, his bright eyes darting around the room. A flicker of mischief dances in his eyes as he anticipates the question to come. He hesitates, a guilty blush creeping onto his furry cheeks. Yes?" Nibbles starts, his voice barely above a whisper, filled with nervous energy. "But only a little." "Okay, maybe a lot," he confesses, the weight of his secret finally revealed. His ears droop slightly, awaiting the inevitable reaction with a mix of fear and playful anticipation. A subtle tremor runs through Whiskers' cozy home, unnoticed by its feline resident. From around the corner, Robo-Chomp, the trusty robot vacuum, appears on its daily patrol. The small robot diligently cleans, oblivious to the seismic activity. Whiskers' house remains undisturbed, a haven of domestic tranquility. Robo-Chomp, a boxy robot, enters, its blue light cutting through the dimness, a mechanical sentinel in an otherwise still room. The robot pauses, its metallic body whirring, an anticipation of action hanging in the air as its sensors survey the scene. The blue light intensifies, a silent promise of cleanliness about to be unleashed upon the unsuspecting surroundings. Cleaning mode. Maximum power. Robo-Chomp announces, its voice a synthesized declaration of war on dirt and dust. The robot begins to move, its cleaning implements whirring to life, a whirlwind of robotic efficiency ready to be unleashed. Robo-Chomp advances, a relentless tide of cleanliness sweeping through the room, its mission clear and unwavering. Whiskers' fur stands on end as he unleashes a piercing scream, his eyes wide with terror. Nibbles squeaks frantically, tiny paws scrambling for a safe haven from the unseen threat. United by fear, they leap onto a nearby table, seeking refuge from the danger lurking below. Their eyes dart around the room, searching for the source of their sudden alarm. Every shadow seems to hold a potential threat as they huddle together, trembling with anticipation. Whiskers fixes his gaze on Nibbles, his eyes reflecting a mixture of concern and growing panic. A beat of silence hangs heavy in the air as Whiskers grapples with the gravity of the situation. His voice trembling slightly, Whiskers struggles to articulate. "Okay, we have a bigger problem." The weight of unspoken words settles between them, signaling a significant shift in their circumstances. Inside Whiskers' cozy house, a hopeful gaze fills Nibbles' eyes, reflecting a yearning for companionship. Nibbles' small frame trembles slightly as he gathers the courage to ask the pivotal question. "So we're friends now?" Nibbles asks, his voice barely a whisper in the warm, inviting room. The question hangs in the air, laden with anticipation as Nibbles awaits Whiskers' response. Whiskers considers Nibbles' earnest plea, a flicker of warmth in his usually stern expression. Whiskers, a tabby with an unimpressed gaze, surveys his domain from atop a velvet cushion. His eyes narrow, a subtle sign of his ever-present disdain. He shifts slightly, the plush fabric conforming to his regal form. A slow, deliberate eye roll speaks volumes of his inner thoughts. His whiskers twitch, sensing something amiss in the house. "Temporary partners," Whiskers declares, his tone dripping with skepticism. Inside Whiskers' house, an ominous mechanical whirring fills the air, signaling impending danger. Robo-Chomp, a menacing creation of steel and wire, relentlessly locks its targeting system onto its unsuspecting prey. The beeping grows more insistent, an electronic pulse of doom vibrating through the house. Each beep is a countdown, echoing in the tense silence as Robo-Chomp closes in. The mechanical hunter's unwavering focus promises a confrontation filled with suspense and terror. Whiskers sits calmly on the table, a picture of feline serenity amidst a cozy domestic scene. Suddenly, a burst of chaotic energy as Whiskers leaps from the table with unexpected agility. Nibbles, caught off guard, desperately clings to Whiskers' fur, a tiny stowaway on a wild ride. A flurry of fur and tiny paws creates a comical scene. The room spins as Whiskers makes his dramatic exit, Nibbles holding on tight. The duo disappears, leaving behind a lingering sense of playful chaos. Inside Whiskers' cozy house, warmth and laughter fill the air. Sunlight streams through the windows, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air. The aroma of freshly baked goods wafts from the kitchen, inviting and comforting. Nibbles, eyes sparkling with mischief, prepares for an adventure. Whiskers, ever the patient friend, readies himself for Nibbles' antics. Nibbles shouts with excitement, "Giddy up, Whiskers!" Inside Whiskers' house, Whiskers stands tall, though small, his posture radiating defiance. An indignant glare sharpens his features, challenging any dissenting gaze. Whiskers' voice rings out, asserting his identity with unwavering conviction. "I am not a horse," he declares, his words echoing with fierce self-assurance. The living room transforms into a playground as they dash through, a whirlwind of playful energy. Cushions become mountains, shoes morph into hurdles in their exhilarating game. With practiced ease, they dive, a synchronized slide carrying them beneath the sofa. They revel in the shadowy depths, masters of their playful domain. Laughter echoes in their wake, filling the room with joy. Robo-Chomp, now tiny, prepares to follow Whiskers into the house. With a whir, Robo-Chomp shrinks down, its metallic body compacting. The miniature robot rolls eagerly towards the entrance. It disappears inside, a tiny metallic echo in its wake. Robo-Chomp is determined to follow Whiskers no matter what. Inside Whiskers' cozy house, Nibbles' eyes dart around the room, filled with curiosity and mischief. Nibbles spots the tantalizing off button on Robo-Chomp's back, a mischievous glint in his eyes. Turning towards Whiskers, a silent question hangs in the air, seeking approval for his daring plan. The fate of Robo-Chomp hangs in the balance, dependent on Whiskers' unsuspecting nod. Inside Whiskers' small house, the camera hones in on Nibbles and Whiskers. Tension fills every corner. Nibbles, eyes gleaming with sudden inspiration, whispers urgently, "Whiskers, distract it! I have an idea!" Whiskers turns, a flicker of fear and determination crossing his face in the dimly lit room. He steels himself, ready to face whatever lurks outside, his small frame tense with purpose. Nibbles watches, hope battling with anxiety as Whiskers prepares to execute their desperate plan. Inside his cozy home, Whiskers pauses, a gulp of courage precedes his bold move. Tail held high, Whiskers bravely steps out, his eyes gleaming with mischief. He taunts, his voice echoing, "Hey, you noisy bowl on wheels, come catch me if you can." The challenge is set, and Whiskers awaits, a playful glint in his eyes. The air crackles with anticipation as the chase begins. Whiskers is ready for a grand adventure. Robo-Chomp speeds through the house, a metallic predator on the hunt. Whiskers watches, frozen, as the machine hurtles closer. Nibbles fearlessly leaps onto Robo-Chomp's back, a tiny silhouette against the looming metal. With nimble paws, Nibbles reaches for the off button, a desperate gamble. The machine sputters, its menacing momentum grinding to a halt. In Whiskers' house, silence descends as Robo-Chomp powers down. Robo-Chomp's metallic eyes dim, reflecting a final flicker of light. A sad, soft beep echoes in the room as the robot shuts down completely. The stillness is broken only by the faint hum of other appliances. Dust motes dance in the air, illuminated by a beam of sunlight. The house seems to hold its breath, awaiting the next event. Inside Whiskers' cozy house, Whiskers sits beside Nibbles, his eyes wide with surprise and dawning gratitude. Whiskers' expression is of deep respect as he gazes upon Nibbles, processing the weight of the rescue. "You saved me," Whiskers says, his voice thick with emotion, acknowledging the profound act. A question hangs in the air, a vulnerable inquiry seeking to understand the depth of Nibbles' selfless act. But why? Inside Whiskers' cozy home, Nibbles beams, his eyes filled with gentle affection. Whiskers averts his gaze, a faint blush creeping up his cheeks as they share a bowl. Nibbles speaks softly, "Because even tiny creatures can do big things. And because you look terrified." Whiskers sputters, attempting to regain his composure. "I was acting." A tender, unspoken moment hangs between them, laden with budding affection and vulnerability.